Welcome to the That's Good Broncos post-game reaction podcast, something or other show. I'm Brandon Perna, here with Will Keys. We're going to talk about the Broncos and what's arguably their best loss of the season in terms of a full game from the team. I think I've discovered what their biggest problem is. I think I finally understand how the season, why it happened the way it did. And that's all I got to deliver to you guys today. Just answers to the biggest questions is all I have for you.
Yeah, no big deal. I think we actually, you learn a lot when you fire a head coach because I think you start playing the game of process by elimination, and you see who's really responsible for a lot of our mishaps so far. And we did have some. I agree. The refs probably are our biggest.
F the refs.
Yeah. That was bad, and we'll get into that later. But we figured some things out today for sure.
Yeah. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use our code DNVR when you sign up. And, of course, my coffee company, benchwarmerbrew.com. And as you can see right there, I've got these really blurry shirts I sell there now. They're very blurry, but if you've got better vision, then maybe you check it out at benchwarmerbrew.com. All right. So the thumbnail on this this little video says, "Give Rosberg the job." I watched his press conference as you told me to. Me to, Will. I actually started watching the wrong one, and
did you end up watching Succession instead?
Yeah, I watched. Sorry, my fucking voice is all fucked up. Ow, that hurt.
Okay.
No. Put me on IR, coach. I'm done playing for the season.
How's your hamstring feeling?
Fucking great.
Good. Get out there.
No, actually, they're always really tight. They're always the things threatening to pull out my lower back. What was I saying? Rosberg? Oh, yeah. I like him. I like him. He came in, rolled some heads. I think brought a little bit of energy to the team. Maybe some fear. I don't know. But they played 60 minutes of football.
Oh, yeah.
As well as they can play it. The worst part of this game for me is still 100% that they got the ball back with 4 minutes, 3 timeouts, and they're in a 4th and 2, and they just take a sack. They just take a horrible sack. Not Russ's fault, but game on the line, the best we could do was just a terrible sack.
Yeah, well, I guess 2 things about that play, maybe 3. The Chiefs possibly offsides.
Yeah, they jumped. I saw that. I think it was Frank Clark who jumps.
Yeah. Is he wearing D Ford's old number?
Yeah. I don't know if he was actually offsides though. It's the angle. You need like the right down the line angle. And when I was rewatching it, because I just put up the video, I was like, oh, were they offsides? And I watched it a couple times. Like, I don't think he is, but it's close. This is not worth me shooting a pickup for and talking about.
Yeah.
So that's the way I determined that it wasn't terrible, but there was one thing that happened on that play. Yes.
A weird snap too, on the play. Glasgow totally missed his assignment, and Russ just got like picked up and body slammed like to the letter of the law, roughing the passer.
Yeah,
that it was like as blatant as it gets, and you saw that Rosberg was appropriately very upset after the play, and I like that too, that he was yelling at the official and giving them a hard time because they really screwed up in some big spots today.
Yeah.
Going back to even at the end of the first half with what looked like it was probably an incomplete pass. That one was a little, there's some gray area there. Offensive pass interference, though, on Cortland Sutton.
That one's
was
unforgivable.
Atrocious.
To me, that the Sutton one was worse than the roughing one in my eyes, because in an ideal world, I personally, the way Russ was tackled there, like I want quarterbacks to be tackled like that. Like I think quarterbacks should be able to be flung to the ground by, guys who are 300 pounds and really strong. But you see that called like 9 out of 10 times. There was a game, a Chiefs Texans game, I think it was earlier this year, where Mahomes kind of got thrown down like that too, and there was no flag. So that one,
okay,
it was bad, and I think they should have called it, because if it were Brady, 100% it's a flag. The Sutton one, there's just like nothing there except like a tiny hand exchange that was initiated.
That happens on every contested catch
By fucking Kansas City, and it just takes away Sutton going up and man balling. Is that what the kids call it? Man balling the ball, like double coverage. He comes down with it. I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
I need to take away every unnice thing I've said about Cortland Sutton over the last year, because he just got it back for me.
He went sicko mode on that ball, for real, no cap. That play was busting. But seriously, like that looked like pre-ACL tear.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton from 2019 when he was making those kinds of catches routinely. And that was really, really good to see, obviously, and he's under contract for a while. So that part looked good. That looked like vintage Cortland, but that was such a momentous play.
Yeah.
In the game, and it's kind of the one thing you point to. And they did have a chance later on, of course, but they were up at that point. Chiefs drive down, score a touchdown, then you get the Russ pick. Jerick McKinnon, who's just, he's stuck in the end zone the last 5 games, scores another touchdown.
Yeah. 4 of his 8 touchdowns in 5 games come against the Broncos.
Yeah.
First time, okay, I get it. This time, they just didn't have a game plan for him. So
Right.
I would put that one on the defense and Ejiro Evero. That one little thing.
I would too. Yeah.
I've never said one bad thing about Ejiro Evero. Never criticized him once. I think he just forgot Jerick McKinnon exists. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think about centering your defensive game plan around a 30-year-old running back.
He's still fast, though.
It is kind of strange, though, that the guys that scored for Kansas City today, 30-year-old running back, fast, like you said, and then a tight end that's not Travis Kelce.
Blake Bell.
The Belldozer, if you remember.
Not even Noah Gray.
Back from Oklahoma, he was the Belldozer.
Blake Bell, the Belldozer.
I swear to God, Oklahoma used to have a Belldozer package where he'd take direct snaps at quarterback and just run straight into the line.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised Andy Reid hasn't brought it back.
The Belldozer. The bell that tollsers. Yeah, they did a pretty good job with Kelce. Although he did catch the final death knell. It was that 3rd and whatever, and he just got a yard or 2 behind the first down marker and makes the catch to officially end it.
I don't even know if that was the first. I thought that was a bad spot because his feet didn't even hit the ground until I thought he was on the other side of the line.
It's close. Is the rule, though, it's like, is it where your feet come down, or
I mean, that's how you
where you
complete
catch
a catch,
it in
right?
the air? Like, I don't fucking know. It's
question.
always, I don't know.
No one knows. I don't think the refs know half the time. They're making it as they go along. They're doing their best. They're just not very good at their jobs, is all.
Yeah, they're horrible at it.
Yeah.
So that was the bad. Okay. Like, this is what we should have been complaining about all season in close games the Broncos lost, were the referees fucking us. Not blaming ourselves, blaming the refs.
Yep.
The easiest scapegoat. Blame those idiots.
We did back against the Chargers, I feel like, and we let our foot off the gas and we let the refs get complacent, and it's kind of on us.
What call do you think was worse this season? That today, the pass interference on Sutton, or that face mask on Greg Dulcich that the ref was staring right at him and did not see?
I think in terms of just like, obviously the OPI was probably more critical
to
the game, but that was the worst no call on the face mask I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was awful. I reject this trade, please.
I'll take Rivera and the breadsticks. I don't want Wentz involved.
Yeah, which Wentz? Carson Wentz, Pete Wentz, George Went.
Man, who would you rather have, Carson Wentz or Pete Wentz?
Not a good last name.
Yeah. So, okay. Sutton, bad call. Probably most case scenarios, Russ would have drawn a roughing the passer, and that was 4th and 2. They would have got a fresh set of downs, would have been huge, right?
Yeah.
But it's officiating. The Broncos were within 3 at the end of this game. Unlike the first time they played the Chiefs, they didn't go down 27-0, right? Were they down 27-0 the first one?
They were, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, at halftime, it was 10-3. It was respectable. Even right before halftime, though, Russ gets hit, fumbles the ball. The Broncos would have been in field goal range at the very least. Opportunity squandered. After halftime, the defense forces Kansas City 3 and out 3 times. And they only get that 1 touchdown drive out of there. If you just want to talk about the pure football things the Broncos fucked up that could have got him the game, it was not getting any points in those first drives out of halftime, and then going into halftime taking a sack. Russell Wilson getting the shit knocked out of him when nobody blocked Trent McDuffie coming in on the stunt.
Yeah.
And it was a fumble. And they had to review that because it almost looked like a pass. So what the Broncos' problem officially is, where I have arrived at, Will, because Rosberg fires the offensive line coach this week, right? Guess what? Yeah. The line did not play better.
No, no.
We didn't expect it. Maybe you could even say they're worse. But I think the injuries on the offensive line aren't even the excuse for me anymore. It's just, if this team had a 17th or 18th, 20th performing line, I feel like, they would have won 3 or 4 more games. If they had a good offensive line, I really believe they have the capability to be in the playoff race. And that is a hard thing to say after what happened last week on Christmas. But in the last month, 2 of their best games have come against the Chiefs, one of the best teams in football. They can hang with the Chiefs. They worked the Arizona Cardinals. That is the line's inability to function on some of the most basic levels sometimes. On top of it taking probably Russ longer than it should have to figure out what he needs to do to succeed in this offense, and the play calling kind of shifting to what he does well, because you've seen a lot more of the play calling shift to focus on his strengths. And you saw Russ, I think, a little more ready to run the football today, and it resulted in 2 rushing touchdowns. But I just think that's the one thing. Like, if I could have changed anything this season, like magic wand fix, and just do the offensive line, and you kind of deal with all the other bad shit that happened, I think they're not the laughing stock of the league.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And I thought they did an okay job run blocking. But the communication was just so bad. Anytime they drop back to pass, basically. Like
Yeah,
if the Chiefs sent any extra rushers, they were just
not
confounded.
blocked.
They had
Yeah.
no idea what to do. Like I think a couple times, and it might have been Glasgow, and I apologize if it wasn't him. I don't mean to slander him, but he's really bad today. They sent maybe it was like Willie Gay or Chanel or whoever up the middle on a blitz, and then he slides away from Saunders, the nose tackle, to pick up the blitzer. So the nose tackle has a free path to the quarterback, and gets an easy sack. It's like this is pretty elementary stuff. Like you have to block the guy who's right in front of you.
Yeah.
You can worry about a blitzer. I don't know if they thought like the right guard was going to slide to the left, but that's a case of bad coaching, bad communication, no continuity on the offensive line, or very little continuity, and just bad awareness that has led to them being the most sacked team in the NFL. Which I think, what are they at, like 60 now?
Ooh,
close to 60. I think it was like 57 entering the game. But either way, I think you're right on, and that's kind of something that I took away from this game too. Is that maybe the Seattle offensive line was better than we thought for a lot of years.
Maybe. Damn it. Oh, sacks. What are we at? Yeah, 61 sacks. You're right. It's incredible. And today was like the game where it felt like, maybe you put one of those 4 sacks on Russ. You know what I mean? Maybe. Yeah. It felt like a lot of the games we weren't sure if like, oh, Russ holding on the ball too long. That's on him. Like, is the line as bad as it looks? That type of shit. Today it was as bad. It was only 4 sacks, but the types of sacks, like you're saying, just bad. And I think you could put it on Russ in that maybe he's not the type of quarterback who is aware enough at the line of scrimmage to point out all the protections that need to happen.
Yeah.
Or you don't have a leader. Usually that's your center, right? Is your leader on the line who's making sure the rest of the offensive line understands the assignment for that play, like dissecting it while they see the defense, not just like for pass plays, right? Like you're not doing that when you're running. You know where you're going when you're running, but identifying who you think might be blitzing, who's going to pick it up, and that type of shit. So it was when the giant 324-pound lineman went unblocked and got Russ. That's unforgivable. And then, the McDuffie stunt was just unpicked up by anybody. And even that one, it's like a thing where you have a running back out there. I think Chase Edmonds was in on the play then. And he's a guy who hasn't played a lot in the Broncos offense. And, he slips through to go drop in, to be a passing target. But maybe it's his job to see the corner coming in on the blitz and, give Russ a chance. So even though the line wasn't better, I think the firing of the O-line coach and what we saw today is probably it put the exclamation point on how bad that problem was.
Yeah.
It actually gave me some confidence. Like I've been saying, like, I think Russ can bounce back next year, but today I kind of believed it.
I kind of took that away too. He was not particularly efficient, but I saw kind of flashes of the old Russ where he did get time inside the 10-yard line and kind of scanned and no one was open, and so he just took off and scored with ease. They had that design run at the 23-yard line that scored.
Yeah.
That was just a creative play and just a good use of a quarterback with still like pretty good mobility.
Yeah.
I know his quickness has kind of declined, but he's still
He looked a
fast.
little faster today. Both those touchdown runs, quick.
Yeah.
He looked a little quick.
I also wanted to like point out that one of the strange things that happened today was Alberto.
The Alberto touchdown?
The Alberto touchdown, the Alberto activation. I think what Rosberg said after the game was he was asked about it and said, I just don't know why he wasn't playing all year. And he said, like, I saw a good athlete in practice and I talked to him in the tight end drills and he activated him and they really needed him because Dulcich is on IR for the rest.
He's on IR.
So you need a good, kind of like flex tight end. And he dropped a couple passes.
He had a really rough start.
Yeah, and he actually he was really fighting that ball on the touchdown as well, but managed to pull it in. And he's not a good blocker. He's never going to be a good blocker, but he's a really good athlete and really fast, and he's kind of a nightmare in terms of matchups. And the fact that this team couldn't get him on the field for most of the season, and I know Dulcich does pretty much everything that Okwebanam does as well, but you got to find a spot in the offense for him. And I'm glad that Rosberg made that a point of emphasis, and it paid off. Obviously, he caught their lone passing touchdown today.
Yeah. One of the things that might have backfired on Rosberg was they made Montreal Washington inactive, and the first play of the game they had Marlon Mack returning a kick out of the end zone, deep out of the end zone, shouldn't have been brought out in my opinion, and he got hurt on that play.
Yeah.
So like the first
times, do you think it's just like a split second decision, like the player is coached to not take it out of the end zone and they're like, I
can do it.
I'm doing it. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
How often do you think they're actually coached to take the ball to the end zone? It's got to be close to 0.
I would coach them to never do it unless
I might not even put a returner back there, to be honest.
No.
I
wouldn't even put a kickoff team there.
I would put everybody at the line to prepare for the surprise onside.
Always prepared for the onside.
Yeah, I mean, if the Indianapolis Colts had just done that, they'd have 2 Super Bowls right now.
Yeah.
And if they had not kicked to Devin Hester, they'd still have 2 Super Bowls, I guess.
Yeah, they still won that one.
Yeah.
All right. I got to tell everybody about our friends over at where, Will?
I would say DraftKings probably.
Yeah, DraftKings Sportsbook. You know it. An official sports betting partner of the NFL. And right now, new customers, if you use our code DNVR, it's Denver, but missing letters. DNVR, when you sign up, DraftKings is going to give you a chance to win $150 in free bets. All you got to do is make a pregame money line wager of at least $5. And if your team wins, you get $150 in free bets. And they are making college football playoffs spicy. You can bet on those too. You can do all of the same bets over there as well. Just do not ever listen to my advice.
A college football head like yourself?
Yeah. I watch all the games, Will.
Again,
DNVR's the code. DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers. You can get $150 in free bets if that pregame money line wager hits. Safe, secure, reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your money whenever you want. You know it. You know the deal. I was going to say something about Drew Brees and Purdue, and then I said probably shouldn't mention that during the actual read.
Probably a good choice. Probably,
and that's a different company. So anyway, all right.
Probably
A lot of people. I've seen a lot of people want to talk about Jimmy Harbaugh in here a little bit.
okay. Let's
Yeah.
talk.
Oh yeah, and the thing that will also save the Broncos is the running game. So that was it, obviously, but it's official. It
Yeah.
helps everything, for fuck's sake. Today it felt like Cortland Sutton had some plays. Jerry Jeudy was a little bit quiet, but Alberto made, he got the touchdown in there. Russ had some runs.
Saubert even.
Yeah, it's what we thought we were going to be seeing a lot of this season. And instead, we basically got one game of that.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're totally right. I think like if you looked at this box score, not knowing the context of the season, yeah, he's inactive. You'd be like, oh, this is kind of a down game for Russell Wilson and the offense. It turns out it's one of our best outputs all year.
Yep. Over 100 rushing yards. That helps. Russ had 27 of those, 56 from Murray. He had a big run in the game. And just having that one run in there, you got to get it.
Yeah. And he was like, I think this is probably a product of coaching, but he was more willing to check down, I thought, early and just get a few yards.
Oh, Russ?
They're better on first down today, which really helped them out.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's really true.
And it was good to have Chase Edmonds in the offense, too. I thought he made a difference.
Yes.
Except for blocking.
I don't even know if he's like even supposed to think about that on that play, but
yeah. I don't know if I want Chase Edmonds as my blocking back, though.
No. And Edmonds probably got a lot more looks because Marlon Mack got injured in this game.
Yeah.
So it's hard to even say, but and Damari Mathis got hurt in this game, tackling Travis Kelce.
Yeah, so Damari Mathis got hurt. That forced Lamar Jackson into the game.
And then he made some nice plays. He made a couple of nice
plays pretty well. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Fun for tweets to say that for the guys who like to, say, oh, Lamar Jackson's a Bronco. Lamar Jackson is, he's playing cornerback now. Very funny, guys. Very funny.
Yeah.
Have a laugh.
Hilarious. Have a laugh.
How about we keep that one in 2022? There's two Lamar Jacksons. We get it.
Yeah. Maybe they found a corner they can have on the cheap this year. That's depth piece. Sutton did. Who did he lay out on that play? Oh my God.
Sutton or Simmons?
No, Sutton on the interception. Who intercepted Russ?
Justin Simmons. Oh no. Oh, sorry. I don't even. I think I missed that play.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, Sneed. He was having a return and he comes back across, and Sutton's coming this way and just decks. He got hurt. Sneed got hurt on the play. That's how hard Sutton hit him.
They'll teach you to intercept Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I hope Sneed's okay, but he got lit up by Cortland Sutton.
Travis Kelce lit up too by Justin Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons did. Yeah, Simmons hit him. Kelce, I think, was a little shaken up after that play.
Yeah.
Again, like Denver didn't have anything to play for, and as hard as it was losing to the Chiefs for the 15th straight time, as hard as it was having the ball at the end of the game and the Broncos just not getting a 4th and 2 in the worst way possible on the sack. Like in terms of my optimism level versus last week, polar opposites.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like they played their ass off in a game where they made some mistakes. That's going to happen. You play against the Chiefs. They lost, but it was close.
I feel like it's strange because we played the Chiefs as well as anybody not named the Cincinnati Bengals, and yet we have a 15-game losing streak to them. Yeah, the Colts. It is this weird dichotomy for sure.
I didn't see his comments about wanting to coach. I wouldn't mind Bruce Arians.
I think he'd be a good bridge, kind of, as long as Todd Bowles isn't the coach after that.
Yeah. All right. So I saw, was it ESPN's Jeremy Fowler? There was a tweet on Friday, and it was the Broncos. Oh my God. Let me just find the tweet, Will.
Okay. This is a Jim Harbaugh related tweet, right? Or just a coaching tweet in general.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it might have been them trying to link to, oh my God, Sean Payton. Hold on, let me find this fucker.
Right.
Actually, I got to go to. Sorry, it's just such a bad quote. It'll be worth it, I promise. Or it won't.
I think we do know that at least I think it was Albright who said that the Saints are going to ask for a first rounder for Peyton.
Right. Okay, here's the quote. Many expect Broncos to check on Sean Payton for their head coach job and possibly make a major run at him.
Wow. Terrific. It's A+ reporting. It's
many expect the
Broncos from Woodward and Bernstein.
Yeah. Are the Broncos going to possibly check in on one of the most highly sought after coaches in this coaching cycle? I don't know. Maybe.
They might give him a ring.
Might give him a ring. Yeah.
Courtesy
yeah. Would you rather have Harbaugh or Peyton?
I think there's something to be said about both of those guys. I think Peyton is the better all-around coach. But I and that's obvious because he won a Super Bowl. Everybody likes to talk about those 4 years in the middle of Breeze's prime, where they sucked on defense, and Bountygate, and kind of leaving the team once they're in cap hell. And those are marks against him. But I think the thing about Harbaugh that I like is him getting to San Francisco in 2011, where they were a really good roster. You just think about like the guys that they had on defense with Patrick Willis, and Justin Smith, and they're about to draft Aldon Smith, and they just had Frank Gore was still there, but they had a bigger reclamation project at quarterback than Denver does now. Like Alex Smith was, at that point, that was year 7, I think, for Alex Smith.
Yeah.
After being a first-round pick, and he was one of those guys who was either hurt or just not playing well, or they changed his offensive coordinator every single year for, the first 6 years of his career. And once he got there, like Alex Smith became the Alex Smith we know now, very competent, never going to put up flashy numbers, but a great facilitator on offense who played really well with a complementary rushing game. And we know it happened in the NFC Championship game where he really couldn't get the ball to a wide receiver. And then what happened the year later with Kaepernick. But the job that Jim Harbaugh did, I would say resurrecting Alex Smith's career, but he really made Alex Smith's career that season. And if you just like look at, there are clips of him hyping up Alex Smith before games, and it really looks like he inspires confidence in his quarterbacks. And you can look at that at Michigan too. Like, I don't think JJ McCarthy is a great quarterback necessarily, but he got a great game out of him in the second half yesterday. I think he's just one of those guys who gets the best out of whoever he's got, whether it's Andrew Luck Colin Kaepernick, Cade McNamara,
Yeah.
whoever. Like he just is great with quarterbacks, and that's not what you want. He also brings a great running game too.
I think that's a good observation, Will. And I think Russ needs that kind of guy to hype him up. And I think maybe a little bit of this week we saw Russ play a little better because maybe he felt like some of his teammates finally had his fucking back.
Yeah, I love that.
Like I don't care that it all happened on the same day, that it was like this snowball where it felt like Jerry Jeudy gave everybody permission to say they like Russell Wilson.
That's such a dumb observation by Mike Florio.
Yeah, like who gives a shit? They finally had enough. They should have done it earlier, but it happened. I think it helped a little bit. And if Harbaugh's that kind of guy that helped get Russ like going before a game,
Yeah.
I think Russ has like been in this weird bubble where he's been trying to do that shit by himself. Mm-hmm. It's why he practices.
He's got too many yes men around him too who are trying to help him.
That's why he's been practicing like fake high fives and doing whatever. Maybe he just needs an intense coach who hypes players up like Pete Carroll, but in a different way. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Pete Carroll hypes up players with like 9/11 conspiracy documentaries, and Jim Harbaugh just like spits in their face and tells them to go out there and says that the human body craves contact, and you get and you see the khakis and the hat, and you're ready to go to war for them.
Yeah, I like the Harbaugh idea more than Peyton, on the sole idea that I'm not excited about having to give up anything more. To get a guy.
That's really true.
If Harbaugh can come in and we can keep our first round draft pick that we have from the 49ers.
Yeah.
Even if it's the very last stupid one, I'll take it. Ryan, I hope you had a good New Year's too, buddy.
Yeah, Ryan. Good to see you, man.
Russ definitely looked more inspired this week for sure. Hope he knows fans and teammates have his back moving forward. I don't know if he knows the fans have his back.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've done nothing to show that we do.
Yeah.
We've not given him much. But the other thing, if you want to be on the positivity train, maybe being this bad, everything going wrong every week, maybe it does bring the team closer together a little bit. They came out and played today. Had they gotten their ass kicked, I wouldn't have said that. But maybe, Jeudy defending Russell Wilson, maybe them seeing Hackett get fired before he even finishes first season. Maybe there's just a little something about being the bottom bastards, and they can spin that into something. There's no, you and I have talked about, there's like no off-season momentum. Like it doesn't carry from your last game to week one.
Right.
But maybe just like all the guys going through the shit together, when they do come back, there's just a little more camaraderie there next year. Maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, it doesn't carry over from one season to another necessarily, but it does from week to week. I think they'll beat the Chargers by 2 scores next week.
Ooh. I was thinking about that today because do the Chargers even have to play for anything next week?
I don't know if they're still seeding, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. Did they clinch anything?
Thank you, Mr. Super.
Yeah, they clinched the playoffs. So they are clinched.
They're clinched. We're clinched.
Yeah, maybe we get that win. Oh, appreciate that, Supernova. Anyway, this was far less depressing. I like your thoughts on Harbaugh.
Thank you.
Peyton has ties to him. We already talked about some of the ties Harbaugh has, right?
Yeah. He does have ties with George Payton and Condoleezza Rice. which is still just a crazy sentence to say.
Yeah. What
Um,
about our race car guy?
Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah.
I don't know that they have any connection, but
Sir Lewis Hamilton. He's a
I'm sorry.
knight.
I'm sorry.
And what I do is before every game, I bring out the knight. Instead
Yeah.
of singing the national anthem, we have the British knight cut something with his sword.
I like that. I think you know how they have I guess Colorado has Ralphie running before every game.
Yeah.
And then, to another extent, the Broncos have, Thunder
Thunder.
after every touchdown. I say just get Lewis Hamilton in an F1 car after every score. Just do a lap around the field.
No. It's an F1 car, but it's a joust. He's
Oh,
holding his sword out the window.
Yes.
And the opposing team gets to pick one of they have to pick
You have
one
to
of their
designate one
players
guy.
or coaches, and you
Yeah.
joust our knight.
Imagine Andy Reid jousting with Lewis Hamilton. I like
Whoa, the Steelers just beat the Ravens.
that. Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, they just picked him off. Oh, wow.
The Steelers, they just can't have a losing season. They can't.
They are
They
the
might be
cockroaches of the NFL right now.
Yeah. No one wants to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah. And you can't kill them.
You can't kill them, though. No one wants to see – okay, no one really wants to see the Patriots in the playoffs.
No.
That's going to be awful. Don't want that at all. But, God, I really don't like the 7-team format in each conference. It's too many teams.
Silly.
It's too many teams. I agree. I love that we get 6 playoff games. I liked it when it was 3 and 3, like 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday. Now they have the silly Monday night game, which I don't care for.
2, 3, 1.
Yeah, that's baloney to me, in my opinion. But yeah, now we have like the New York Giants clinched a playoff spot and can rest their starters at 9-6-1. What's happened to the NFL? The fact that 9-6-1 is even a record, and we still have a game to go.
Today felt so much like it should be the last regular season weekend of football.
Yeah.
Like,
and it should be.
I know in my head that it's not, but I felt like this was the last game of the season for the Broncos.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, we got to play the Chargers one more time. Like, it's unnecessary.
It's like, I know not everything's wrapped up, but it's like.
It's not wrapped up because there's an extra game. It would have been wrapped up.
Yeah. Which I guess you could say about any given week, but it feels, just totally unnecessary.
The only good thing is it might help the Lions get into the playoffs.
Yes. That is a team I do want to see in the playoffs.
Oh, God.
An entertaining football game.
They got to beat the Packers to get in, and the Seahawks got to lose, but fudge.
The Seahawks play the Rams?
Maybe.
Who knows? Like that. The Rams could find out that Sean McVay is retiring or Aaron Donald's retiring, and they put out one last hurrah. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, they do play the Rams, which is better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, the Rams are the best football team I've ever seen. So,
agreed.
All right, let's get out of here, Will. I appreciate all of you guys coming into the post-game breakdown.
Yeah.
Broncos country. There's a little bit of optimism.
It's a little bit of writing.
Don't know how long it'll last. The loss still hurt a lot, but was not the worst.
Happy New Year's to everyone.
Happy New Year. Make sure you check out Will's YouTube channels. Will Sucks at Games, Built to Will, for more Will Keys driven content.
Thank you.
You want Will to take the keys and drive?
I'll do it.
He'll do it.